afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Friday Flow with Kelsey. Thanks for joining Bakersfield College Renegade Fitness on this beautiful Friday afternoon. So we're going to turn over to Kelsey. Make sure you've got plenty of water. Grab that mat. We're going to get started into this Friday flow. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you, Casey. Bye, Wi-Fi. Hello, guys. So we're just going to get started onto the back of our mats. Just taking a moment to come onto our comfortable position, knees bent, sitting on top of the thighs. Go ahead and take a deep breath as you close your eyes and just roll the shoulders nice and back, lengthening the spine, and just keeping the head nice and aligned with your body. Maybe tucking in the core just slightly a little bit, opening the heart. And take a deep breath, inhaling. And exhaling out, settling into a little moment for intentions before we start into our practice. Thinking about how you want to power out throughout the week, or maybe even calm, setting down the mind. Maybe setting out some goals, accomplishing things that you couldn't get to, maybe starting a new plan, motivating yourself, or reflecting on what has been causing you any stress or frustration, and thinking of how you want to create a solution for those things. Slowly coming back into your breath. And inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky, arms together, feeling that stretch, bending the elbows, coming into hands to heart center, maybe taking a slight bow, and staying here in this moment. Thinking about what you want to fulfill throughout your practice today. Bringing the hands back down. Go ahead and walk the hands out into your child's pose, even keeping the thighs together or opening them out just slightly. And bringing the forehead down onto the mat. Inhale and exhale out. Keeping the fingertips nice and spread out, forearms lifted off from the mat. And on your inhale, go ahead and bring the left hand over the right. And maybe even feeling that side stretch right there. Take a moment, deep breaths, big exhales. Slowly walk back to your center and switch over your right to your left hand. Really extending the arms out as much as possible. Pushing the hips back still. Big inhale. And big exhale out. Slowly come back to your center. And slowly rolling back into all fours. Keeping the hands underneath the shoulder blades, knees nice and grounded. We'll go ahead and sweeping the left hand up to the sky, facing up. And exhale, go ahead and thread the needle underneath, bringing the shoulder down to the mat. Maybe even bringing the right hand behind you. And extending out, feeling this shoulder stretch. Take a few breaths. Letting go of any pain or tension. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of tightness. You can't bring your hand, maybe even extending the hand out above you if that feels comfortable, or maybe even keeping it by your mat. Slowly lifting yourself up, bringing the hand above, sweeping it right above you. And slowly bring the hand back down. Good. Now go ahead and float the right hand up, extending the fingertips, gazing up to the sky, and slowly thread that needle to the opposite side, bringing the shoulder down to the mat. Beautiful. Maybe even bringing, if you can, the left hand above you straight up, or maybe even bending it over into that hip area, tucking in the fingertips if you can. Closing the eyes, nice and gentle, feeling this stretch in the shoulders. Slowing down the breath. Beautiful. And gently, maybe if you have that bind, go ahead and undo your bind, hands from extending, placing it back onto the mat, coming back, sweeping the hand up all the way, and coming back to center. Going back into kneeling and sitting onto the thighs. Go ahead and open up our shoulders just a little bit more. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. And exhale, bringing the hands behind you, interlacing the fingers and pulling out, stretching, extending the arms, shining the heart up to the sky. And if you can, if it's in your practice, go ahead and lean just slightly forward down, bringing the forehead to the mat, extending the arms right above you. As much as possible, feeling the shoulder stretch right here. If it feels comfortable for you, go ahead and bend the elbows, or maybe even just extend them, relaxing them behind the back if that feels comfortable for you. But if you're able to extend them fully out up to the sky. Few breaths here. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back up, keeping the hands still interlaced. And untuck the hands. Go ahead and bring them up back to the sky. Now go ahead and cactus the arms, making them into an L shape. And we're just gonna go ahead and do little circles, rotating forward. Now take your little circles and go ahead and make them into bigger circles, rotating them. Still forward. Few movements, opening the chest and shoulder girdle. And rotate back into your little circles. For 3, 2, and 1. Now go ahead and do your big circles. For 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring the hands down. Now this might seem like a simple stretch, but we're gonna go ahead and open to our triceps. So bringing the elbow, whichever one you like to start, bringing that over right here. So feeling the hand right in between the shoulder blades if you can, and bring your left hand or right and hugging over the elbow and pulling it straight down. Sometimes this feels a little familiar into our PE days, but this stretch is going to really help opening the shoulders if you have, going through any tightness, any pain, maybe hunching over a lot at your desk or when you're driving. Let's go ahead and undo that stretch, and we're just going to switch over to the other side. This is also going to help us strengthen our chaturanga dandasanas when we go into our sun salutation. Try to bring the hands in between the shoulders as deep as down as much as possible. Beautiful. And then when you're doing the stretch, you want to make sure you're not hunching down your neck, and make sure you're extending fully up. You're creating that support with the tricep. For 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring the hands back down. Go ahead and make a fist with your hands, and we're just going to go ahead and bring them behind, powering them together. Open the heart, open the chest a little bit, push the elbows back. This can also help you get ready into your reverse hand prayer. Once you feel that your whole upper body and arms are a little bit more flexible, and if you feel like this is a little too easy and want a little bit more of a challenge, go ahead and grab the opposite elbow. Should look something like this right here. And again, we're pushing the elbows back out, broadening the shoulders, lifting the chest up. And then from here, go ahead and let go those opposite elbows. Bring the hands down, reverse them up. Try to walk them up to the spine as much as possible. And fold the hands, opening the chest, broaden the shoulders, pushing back the elbows, and you should be able to do your reverse prayer. Now you feel like there's some mobility stiffness. It must probably have to do with like the wrist and the forearms stretching out a little bit more. So that just takes a little bit more practice. So go ahead and come down, untucking if you were able to do that reverse prayer. And let's switch over. We'll come back into the top of our mat and do our sun salutation warm up. You should feel the upper body nice, flowing, a little bit of blood flow moving in there. Go ahead and make sure that your feet are nice and grounded, standing tall in your Tadasana pose. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe even bending the knees if you're feeling that tightness in the hamstrings. Walk, step, or jump to the back of your mat. Bending the elbows, leaning forward into your Chaturanga Dandasana. Pushing up into your upward facing dog. Bringing the shoulders down and away. Rolling the toes and pushing back into your downward facing dog on your exhale. Beautiful. Now walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Standing with the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Samasasiti. Hands to the side. We'll go ahead and do 2 more rounds. Inhale, halfway lift, or sorry, inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk, step, or jump to the back of your mat. Bending the elbows down into your Chaturanga Dandasana. Pushing up into your upward facing dog. And exhale, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Now, if you would like to practice on your float, you want to go ahead and come up onto your tippy toes. Bending the knees, you can either walk, step, or go ahead and take a float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center, Samasasiti. Beautiful. Go ahead and do 1 more round. Now we'll go ahead and do our last round a little bit quicker. Inhale, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk, step, or jump to the back of your mat. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Push it back into your downward facing dog. Walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center, Samasasiti. Beautiful. Go ahead and get some water if you need to. And we'll go back into our top of our mat. Now we'll go ahead and with our left foot, go ahead and extend back out. Now keeping the left leg extended out. Now go ahead and with your right leg, bend the knee down a little bit more to your 90-degree angle, sweeping the hands back up into your high lunge. And now bring the hands either to the side, cactusing the arms, We're just going to go ahead and take a little twist to the right, slowly. Coming back to center, twisting to the left. Keeping the chest nice and up and keeping the hips nice and squared. Slowly coming back to your center and twist to the right. Holding that balance, coming back to center, twisting to the left. One more time, back to center, right, center, twist to the left. Beautiful, coming back to center. So you put the hands back behind you, pushing up to the sky, extending out. Now for this part right here, we're just gonna go ahead and slowly lean in a little bit forward, extend that leg out up high, lean slightly forward, and go ahead and with your right shoulder, we're gonna go ahead and bring our right shoulder to our right knee, coming into our humble warrior. Keeping the hands extended out, pushing for that as much as possible, finding some strength and balance with our legs and our feet. Hang in there, you can do this. Now go ahead and push the knee a little bit more if you need to find a little bit more stability. Finding some groundness right here. Inhaling and exhaling out. Now slowly coming back up. Letting go of that interlace through the fingers. Sweeping the hands back up to the sky. And go ahead and bring the hands back down, grounding down, sweeping over the right to the left. And go ahead and bring your left foot, sweeping it up through your hands. And sweep the hands right up, switching over. Go ahead and cactus the hands, or sorry, the arms a little bit more. And let's go ahead and take our twist to the left. Coming back to center. Twisting over to the right. Making sure that the navel is nice and tucked in. You might feel a little bit more tightness, or you might feel that the opposite legs feel different balance and strengths. Now, if you're on your right side, go ahead and come back to your center. Twist your left. Try to find some evenness and symmetricalness through these postures and flows. Coming back to your center and to the right. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Sweeping the hands behind you. Interlacing the fingers, extending the arms out. Now go ahead and push that back leg up high as much as possible. And we're just gonna come back into our humble warrior on our left side, bringing the left shoulder to the left side of the knee for that stability and strength. Beautiful, find some groundness through the left toes, the left leg. Deep inhales, deep exhales out. Remember, you can always come back to child's pose if it's a little tough, and then just hop in whenever you're ready. Slowly coming back up. Now extending the hands up, sweeping them up to the sky, pulling them back down onto the mat, bringing the left foot to meet the right, bending the elbows, taking your chaturanga dandasana, sweeping up to your upward facing dog, pushing it back into your downward facing dog. Breathing in and exhaling out. Go ahead, maybe even pedal out the calves if you need to. Or maybe you just want to get in a little bit deeper and ground yourself into your downward facing dog as much as possible. Feeling that alignment throughout your whole body. Few breaths here. And when you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and just bending the knees down onto our mat and pushing back into our child's pose. Either keeping the hands extended out in front of you or maybe even bringing them back down to the side, bringing the forehead down a little bit more. Calming down the heart rate, slowing down the breathing. Beautiful. Go ahead and extend the hands back out. And we're just gonna roll forward onto the bellies. Nice and slowly. Beautiful. Now coming down onto the forehead, extend the arms out like an airplane. And we're just gonna go ahead and lift with the right leg up, twisting over the left side. So your right leg should be over the left leg. And feeling this nice scorpion stretch right here for the spine. Either gazing over to the right or maybe even gazing over to the left, whatever feels comfortable for you. Staying on the tippy toes. And slowly go ahead and bring that right leg back down onto the mat. Lifting the left leg up, bringing it over to the right leg. Beautiful. Maybe feeling a different type of sensation here. Maybe it's a type of stretch you're needing. Finding different areas of tightness that we've been neglecting in our body. Few breaths for 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and slowly rotate over, coming back down. Now go ahead and bring your hands down to the side, close to your chest. Bring the elbows a little bit closer as well. Forehead down onto the mat. Now you want to make sure we take some safety precautions and make sure we're not shifting from left to right. So I'll do my best as possible to cue this. Now tucking in the chin, close as possible to your chest. And when you come up for your baby cobra, you want to roll up using your neck like if you're rolling up a piece of fruit. So on your inhale, coming up, rolling up nice and gently. Now either keeping the elbows nice and micro bend into your baby cobra, or maybe you want to take the full extension, keeping the shoulders away, the glutes nice and relaxed, using the biceps and triceps to hold you. Engage those muscles. And maybe you want to gaze up, or maybe even take a full gaze up to the sky. This is a great pose to open the throat chakra, which allows us to communicate using our voice, being vocal of our emotions and needs and wants. Deep breaths. Now keeping the hip bones grounded onto the mat so you're not floating up. And you should feel your triceps shaking and make sure your glutes are nice and relaxed. Shouldn't feel any pain in the lower back area. Staying here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently and slowly coming back down. Staying here. And on our next inhale, we'll come back into our cobra pose. Inhale, rolling up. Now remember, you can always gaze either straight forward or go ahead and gaze straight up. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Hip bones still grounded onto the mat. Power through using the arms. And exhale, slowly coming back down. Beautiful. Now bending the knees one by one. Now we're still laying on our bellies. We'll come into our bow posture. Grabbing your left hand onto the ankles, right hand to the right ankle. Now we're slowly going to lift the upper body first. Then we'll lift the second part of the lower body. And then our third time, we'll lift up all together. So inhale again, like we were rolling up into our baby cobra. We want to lift the upper body, lifting the chest from the mat, keeping the lower body still grounded on our mat. And exhale, come down. And on your inhale, we're going to lift the lower body. Inhale, lifting the thighs up. Belly is still grounded onto the mat. Feet are nice and flexed. You're grabbing around the ankles. Exhale, lower down. Now inhale, go ahead and lift the chest, lift the thighs off from the ground. And exhale, we're still up in our boat posture. As you inhale, you should feel a rocking motion, and as you exhale, inhaling, exhale out. Beautiful. Last one, slowly let go, bringing down the thighs, letting the feet fall wherever they go, letting the arms fall wherever they go, and take your mini shavasana here. Maybe relaxing the cheek onto one side of the mat. A little challenge into our back bend today. Again, we're bringing down the heart rate nice and slow. Coming down and staying present in this moment here. Now, when you're ready, go ahead and bring back some energy into those fingertips and toes. Bring your hands back down to the side. And go ahead and tuck the toes, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Sweeping the right foot up, bending the right knee, stacking over the left hip, grounding down through the right ankle, through the right foot. Keeping that extension out through the arms, keeping the hands, the fingertips nice and spread apart. Now coming into our wild thing pose, we'll go ahead and plant the right foot over, bringing the right hand above, floating it up over the heart. Finding balance all through the left side of our body. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring the right hand back down, planting it over into our three-legged dog, planting the right foot down. Now we're back into our normal downward facing dog. Few breaths here. If you're still feeling any tightness, go ahead and feel free to walk your dog whenever you're ready. And on your inhale, go ahead and sweep the left foot back up, bending that left knee, stacking it over to the right side. Again, finding some groundness through the right leg, the right ankle, and the right foot. Keeping the fingertips nice and spread apart. And bringing your left foot over, opening up into your wild thing, pushing up. Floating the hand above you. Keeping the palm open. Maybe even taking a mudra and keeping the thumb and the point of your finger into an okay symbol, asking a little bit more from the universe here. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring the left hand back down, bringing it over to your three-legged dog. Gently coming back into your downward facing dog, pushing it back. Hips up nice and tall to the sky. Walk your dog a little bit, feeling those calves nice and tight. Maybe even bending the knees if the hamstrings are feeling a little bit more tension today. All about slowing down today. Maybe there's a lot of productivity going on throughout the week, or maybe next week. You haven't found the time to really come to yourself. Finding time for yourself. Now go ahead and walk to the top of your mat. And we're just gonna go ahead and stand into our forward fold. Maybe the knees are nice and bent here. Maybe creating space in between the feet. Maybe even wrapping the hands behind the calves. Or maybe even taking the opposite elbow into your ragdoll, whatever feels comfortable for you. Swaying from side to side. Or maybe even just grabbing around the calves. I know that kind of helps me a little bit more. Bend in a little bit. Bringing the nose close up possible to the knees. And relaxing the neck and the head. Take a big breath, inhale. And exhale. Let go of that tension that you're holding on to. Let go of that stress. Worrying about things that we can't control, or worrying about things that we're constantly controlling over. Just let it go for this moment. Staying here nice and grounded. Now gently let go of either having the hands wrapped around the calves or letting go of the opposite elbows, and come into your halfway lift. One more time into your forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands up back to the sky. Hands to heart center, Samasasiti. Beautiful. Go ahead and get some water a little bit. I'm doing a lot of vibing and flowing and letting go. Now go ahead, inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. Feeling that full body stretch. Go ahead and micro bend just slightly a little bit. And micro bend the elbows. Hands are still nice and together. And swine dive back down. Bending the knees and coming back onto your mat. Nice and fully. Now bringing in your left knee, folding it over. Right beside you, as close as possible to the right side of the glute. And bringing the right leg on top of that left knee. Now keeping the feet nice and flexed. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. And exhale, forward fold. Keeping the sit bones nice and grounded. Now you probably won't feel so much able to come forward, and that's okay. Just lean in forward as much as possible, but you don't want to lift off your mat. Stretching the hips out a little bit more today, as we got a nice little upper body flow and movement going. Now go ahead and spread the fingertips more and push the hips back. Relax the head on top of the knees. You might feel in different areas within the hip joint, within the glute muscles. And just making sure that we're just not hunching over, making a lot of tension into our spine and back, but we're just leaning in forward on top of the knees. And now we're keeping the knees nice and flex, or sorry, the feet nice and flexed to protect our knees. And this really helps if you've just been sitting down all day. Maybe you've been hitting the Stairmaster a little too hard. Maybe a lot of, weight training, strength training, anything of that kind of source can really help alleviate any of that tension within the hips. Now slowly go ahead and walk back up. Sweep the hands up, back up to the sky. Bring the hands to heart center, bending the elbows. And we're gonna bring our left elbow on top of that left knee, or sorry, that right knee. And twisting over, gazing up, creating that openness as we're folding our hands and bending the elbows. Putting all the pressure into our elbow on top of that thigh to feel that stretch. Keeping the chest open, lengthening, finding space. Beautiful. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to your center. Bringing the hands back down. We're just going to switch over our legs. Right goes underneath, left goes on top. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. Slowly come into your forward fold, leaning on top of the thighs. Feet nice and flexed, fingertips spread apart, hip bones or your sit bones sitting nice and grounded on the mat. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck. Let go of that tension that we're creating. Beautiful. You might feel a different sensation on each leg. I know I feel it more on my right side more than anything. But maybe for you might feel it on the left, or maybe you feel it on both. Beautiful. Slowly walk up. Inhale, sweeping the hands back up again. Hands to heart center. Now bringing the right elbow onto that left knee. Beautiful. Opening the chest. And with every inhale and exhale, go ahead and deepen that twist just a little bit more. Maybe even closing the eyes here and visualizing, letting go of that tension that you've been feeling. Big inhale. And exhale, keeping the chest open, chest lifted. Staying here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Go ahead and coming slowly back to center. Hands back to the mat and slowly unravel your legs. Bending the knees. Switching them over on top of the mat. Slowly coming back into your tabletop. Tucking the toes, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Now you might feel a different sensation than you did when you first started on your mat. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Bend that knee and coming back into our pigeon posture. So bringing the right knee as close as possible to our right wrist. Left foot as close as possible to the left wrist. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can leave the toes tucked and extend that leg. And just shift forward and back to just kind of warm up, to bring back down any of that tension that you might still be feeling. Or if you have a block or a pillow, go ahead and tuck it into the other side. And if you feel ready, go ahead and gently flatten your left knee. Relax the toes. Now with your fingertips, extend up, roll the shoulders back, lifting the chest, gazing forward as much as possible. When you're ready, go ahead and come down to your forearms. And maybe even create a little pillow with your hands and rest the forehead. Letting go of any tension in that right hip. Relax the glutes. Inhale and exhale all of that anxiousness that you're holding in. Maybe even let go of any doubt. Remember the intention you created for your practice today. What is it that you're wanting to welcome, and what is it that you're wanting to let go of? Feel free to stay here as long as you like, but whenever you're ready, slowly coming back up. Now tucking the toes, lifting the knee nice and gently. Now sweep back your right foot to meet your left. Push back into your downward facing dog. And inhale, sweeping the left leg up, bending that left knee, meaning to the left wrist, foot meaning to the right, or yes, to the right wrist, and gently letting go. Or if you like, maybe you like the idea of keeping the foot, or sorry, the toes tucked and lifting the knee and rocking back and forth. Kind of gives you a little warm up into getting ready and coming into your full pigeon posture. And then drop the knee nice and gently, let go of the toes. Use the fingertips to lengthen your body. Roll the shoulders away. This posture is usually my favorite because it just opens the chest and opens the throat. And at the same time, we're releasing any of that tension in the lower body. Now, whenever you're ready, go ahead and come back down onto your forearms. And rest your head right here. Keeping the foot nice and flexed. The one that you're bending. Maybe again, if you need a pillow or a bolster, go ahead and tuck it in. If you can't, come into your full pigeon. Maybe one side feels tighter than the other. It's a great way to just let go of any of that soreness. Remember to breathe. Holding on to the breath is just not serving its purpose. So take a deep inhale. And take a deep, or let go of your deep exhale. And come in a little bit more, melting onto the mat. Beautiful. Now slowly go ahead and tuck your toes. Coming back onto the hands of your mat. Lifting the knee nice and gently. Now bring your left foot to meet the right. And push back into your downward facing dog. Big inhale. Exhale, let go. Keep feeling that groundingness. Maybe you can't bring the heels all the way back down, but maybe even bend the knees a little bit. And slowly walk the hands or walk the feet to meet the hands. Sweep the hands up, back up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Samasasiti. Now for our last posture before we go into our groundingness, let's go ahead and bring the right leg on top of the right thigh or the left thigh, bending it into the shape of a 4, and making sure that your left side or your right side, whichever one you wanted to start with, is nice and grounded. We're just going to go ahead and coming up into our half chair pose, bending down, feeling that stretch. Now, if you would like to challenge yourself, and I'm welcoming you, if this is in your practice, go ahead and ground the hands down. And with our right foot, I have a few little guests here. With our right foot, we're going to tuck in our left tricep in. So we're just coming in and bending down that knee as much as possible. Now, right now we're on our fingertips, but once you feel a little bit more comfortable, go ahead and bring the hands down. And we're going to bring our right knee close as possible to the right side of the elbow. And when you're ready, come onto the toes, left side of your toes, bending in. Now, once you feel that your tricep is nice and tucked in to the right side, come forward, and we're slowly shifting into our flying posture. Tucking that foot in, maybe even extending out. Some days are a little harder than the others, but it just takes a little bit of practice. But I have my little guest here behind me. Isn't she so cute? Let's go ahead and try on our left side. No animals are harmed here while we're practicing our flying postures. Now, bring your left leg on top of the right side of your right leg. Now, again, we're in a shape of our 4. Sweeping up into our chair posture. So we're in a half sitting chair posture here. Deep breaths with every movement. This is what I've learned so far as teaching into our yoga practices. Now, coming back down, grounding yourself a little bit more. Hands, fingertips are up. Bring in your left foot, close as possible to the tricep. Grounding in as much as possible, bending the toes on the right side. We're finding stability and an anchor as we come into our flying pigeon. Bending the right knee, finding that balance, extending out into our flying pigeon, pushing it back out into our chaturanga. Slowly, it takes a lot of practice, but it's all about opening the hips and the lower body, shoulders, finding arm balance strength. Oh, I have my guest here. Now, slowly go ahead and come back to your seated position, rolling the hips out in front of you. Knees nice and bent, and slowly inhale up to a slight cat and cow posture. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, arch the back, rolling the shoulders away. Exhale, rounding the spine. Coming back into your neutral position, hands extending out, gently one vertebra at a time, rolling yourself down onto your mat. Bringing the knees close to your chest, holding them, hugging them close to the body, roll from one side to side, massaging the lower back. Deep breaths. Exhaling out, coming back into your normal breath. Lots of stretching, lots of flowing. Now coming back into your neutral position, bringing the knees still close together. Coming in and rolling the neck, coming in, bringing the nose to the knees. And on your exhale, go ahead and extend out, laying wherever your body feels comfortable into your final Shavasana posture. letting go of any anxiousness that you're still holding on to between the shoulders. Let it go and let it melt onto the mat. Let the hands fall wherever they like. Let the toes point wherever they like and fall. Let go of that tension you're holding in to the thighs. As we're coming back into finding grounding and stillness and balance, remember what you're wanting to welcome throughout your weekend and into the next coming new week. Think about what you're wanting to let go throughout your weekend and into this coming week. Something that doesn't serve you or something that you've been constantly giving you stress, maybe some anxiety, and finding a solution. Setting your intention, setting good things for your heart, your mental space, and your soul. Letting go of the things that you can't control and letting go of the things that you're wanting to control. Go ahead and quiet down the mind, closing the eyes. Beautiful. Slow down your breath. And visualize all the things that you're wanting to accomplish moving forward. Making sure we're welcoming positivity and space, fluidity within our body, love and light, compassion, being mindful of our awareness. When you're ready, go ahead and inhale, sweep the hands up above you, feeling that full body stretch. Extending the toes, pointing them out, extending the hands out. Bending the knees, gently rolling onto your fetal position, left or right. Pushing yourself up, nice and gently. Rolling yourself, finding yourself sitting up nice and tall. Your spine finding its length and space. Opening the eyes, sweeping the hands up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me into this lovely Friday Vibe and Flow class. I hope you've challenged yourself, but also opened your body into welcoming fluidity, compassion, and love. Sending you love and light. Namaste.
Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this Friday. You got a lot out of today's class. Please join us again throughout next week, noon every day. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay positive and stay strong. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Casey.